Germanist officers. I'm Angelina Fernandez and I welcome you all to MNS Classroom channel. Today's video we will be doing 14 MCQs from the chapter Chemical Coordination and Integration. So let us start. Our first question is insulin is a, and your options are A. Vitamin, B. Lipid, C. Hormone, D. Enzyme. Now please pause the video and try to answer this question. So the correct answer for this question is C. Hormone. Insulin is a hormone which is released from the pancreas. Now the pancreas is called as a mixed gland or a heterocrine gland because it consists of both exocrine and endocrine part. Now insulin is one of the hormone which is secreted by the pancreas. The other hormone which is secreted by the pancreas is glucagon. Okay, so insulin is secreted by the beta cells, whereas glucagon is secreted by the alpha cells. Now both insulin and glucagon, they are antagonistic in nature. That is, insulin, it decreases the blood sugar level, whereas glucagon, it increases the blood sugar level. Okay students, so the next MCQ which we have is which of the following hormone synthesize which of the following hormones, though synthesized elsewhere, is stored and released by the master gland. So we all know that the master gland, it is the pituitary gland. It is the pituitary gland, and the hormone which is synthesized elsewhere and stored and released by the master gland, the options for this are A. Melanocyte stimulating hormone, B. Antidiuretic hormone, C. Luteinizing hormone, or D. Prolactin. Now pause the video and answer this question. So the correct answer of this question is B. Antidiuretic hormone. Now antidiuretic hormone which is there, it is also called as vasopressin. It's also called as vasopressin, and the target organ of this hormone is the kidneys. It is the kidneys. Now I will tell you some of the functions which are done by antidiuretic hormone. Now the antidiuretic hormone, it increases water reabsorption. So if there is increase of the reabsorption of water, there will be a decrease in the content of the urine. That is, the urine will be concentrated. The other function of antidiuretic hormone is that it leads to constriction meaning it decreases the size of the lumen of the blood vessels, and if there is a decrease in the size of the blood vessels, then there will be an increase in blood pressure. That is, your blood pressure will increase. Now we will talk about some the other options which are over here, like the melanocyte stimulating hormone. The melanocyte stimulating this is the correct answer. Antidiuretic hormone is the correct answer. We will be talking about melanocyte stimulating hormone. The melanocyte stimulating hormone, now the main function of this hormone is that it increases pigmentation in the skin, and its target hormone, its target organ is the melanocytes in the skin. Okay students, now we will talk about luteinizing hormone. Luteinizing hormone, this is present only in females. This similar kind of hormone is present in males, which is called as ICSH, that is intracellular stimulating hormone. intracellular stimulating hormone. This is present in males. It is present in males. Okay, now this LH hormone, what does it do? It uh, triggers ovulation. It triggers ovulation along with FSH. FSH is follicle stimulating hormone. Luteinizing hormone, it triggers ovulation along with FSH, that is follicle stimulating hormone, and also it helps in the conversion of ovarian follicles to corpus luteum. That is it helps in the growth of ovarian follicles to corpus luteum. Okay, now, and we'll talk about the final hormone, that is the prolactin hormone, which is there in the options. Prolactin hormone, it's a milk producing hormone, and it is this hormone which is there, it becomes active only after pregnancy. Okay, now we are done with this. Let us go to the third MCQ. The third MCQ which we have is: a pregnant female delivers a baby who suffers from stunted growth, mental retardation, low intelligence quotient, and abnormal skin. This is a result of, and your options are: deficiency of iodine in diet, low secretion of growth hormone, cancer in thyroid gland, oversecretion of pars distalis. So pause the video and answer this. So the correct answer for this MCQ is A, low deficiency of iodine, which is also called as hypothyroidism. Low deficiency of iodine will cause hypothyroidism. So okay, this is so let me explain this thing to you all. Now, iodine is very important. It's very important for the secretion of thyroxine, and thyroxine is a hormone of the thyroid gland. So basically, the thyroid, it requires iodine for the secretion of thyroxine. So if in the first place there is no iodine, is only not present in our diet, or we do not take intake of iodine in our diet, there is no iodine only. So how will thyroxine be produced? Thyroxine will also not be produced as a result, and as a result there will be the thyroid gland will not be able to produce thyroxine. Okay, so now I will explain to you some deficiencies. Stunted growth is also called as dwarfism. The child becomes a dwarf. Okay, now the opposite of this, if like there is too much, if there is too much of iodine is present in the diet, then it will cause excess of thyroxine also, so as a result, this will lead to hyperthyroidism. Now hyperthyroidism, it mostly occurs if you have cancer of the thyroid gland. If you have a cancer of the thyroid gland, then you get hyperthyroidism. Okay, meaning there is excess secretion of thyroxine, which is the thyroid hormone. Okay, now we will talk your cancer of the thyroid gland. This will cause hyperthyroidism, that is excess of thyroxine hormone. Now low secretion of growth hormone will cause dwarfism. Okay, low secretion of growth hormone will cause dwarfism, and oversecretion of pars distalis. Now you need to remember what is pars distalis in the first place. Let me explain it to you. Now the pituitary gland which we have, which we call as the master gland, it has two parts basically. So that is the pars distalis and the pars intermedia. Oops. Let me write this again. Wait. Pars distalis and pars intermedia. Okay, so it has pars distalis and pars intermedia. Now pars intermedia is the part where the hormones are stored. They are stored, meaning they are secreted from the hypothalamus. They are secreted from the hypothalamus and they are stored in the pars intermedia. And pars distalis is the part of the pituitary which secretes many hormones. It secretes many hormones. Okay. Now we'll go to the next MCQ. Our next MCQ which we have is 24-hour diurnal rhythm of our body, such as the sleep-wake cycle, is regulated by which hormone? And your options are melatonin, calcitonin, prolactin, and adrenaline. So pause the video and answer this question. So the correct answer for this question is melatonin. Correct answer for this question is melatonin. Now melatonin is secreted by the pineal gland. It is in the brain. The pineal gland. The pineal gland. So melatonin is a hormone secreted by the pineal gland which is present in the brain. Now melatonin is a hormone which it controls many other body functions like metabolism, pigmentation, menstrual cycle, defense capabilities, etc. Okay, now we will talk about the remaining options which are there, like calcitonin. Now calcitonin is a hormone which works antagonistic to parathyroid hormone. Antagonistic meaning it works opposite to of parathyroid hormone. Prolactin, it is the milk producing hormone. Its target organs is the mammary glands. The mammary glands is the target hormone of its. And last is the adrenaline. Adrenaline is secreted by adrenal medulla. Secreted by adrenal medulla. Okay. So the correct answer for this is melatonin, which is secreted by the pineal gland. Now we'll go to the next MCQ. Melanin protects us from, and the options are A. UV rays, B. visible rays, C. infrared rays, and D. X-rays. Pause the video and answer the question. So the correct answer for this question is A. UV rays. UV rays. So melanin is produced by melanocyte stimulating hormone, and the target organ is the melanocytes present in the skin. And so when this hormone is released, it targets the melanocytes which are present in the skin, and as a result it gives them the order to secrete the hormone melanin, which protects us from UV rays. It is like a chain cycle. Okay, melanocyte stimulating hormone, its target organ is the melanocytes which are present in the skin, and it gives the order to this melanocyte saying that तुम लोग क्या करो, melanin produce करो, और ये melanin, this will protect us from UV rays. Okay, let's go to the next question now. Acromegalia is caused by, and your options are excess of growth hormone, excess of thyroxine, deficiency of thyroxine, excess of adrenaline. Pause the video and answer this question. So the correct answer for this question is A. excess of growth hormone. Acromegalia. Acromegalia is caused due to the excess of growth hormone. Acromegalia is caused in adults. Now you need to remember over here that there is something called as gigantism also. Now gigantism is also a disease which is caused by excess of growth hormones, but gigantism is found only in kids, whereas acromegalia is found only in adults. Keep the two deficiencies in mind. Excess. They're not deficiencies, they're excess. Gigantism and acromegalia, they both are caused due to excess of growth hormone, but the difference is gigantism is found in kids, whereas acromegalia is found in adults. Okay. Now let us talk about the other options. Excess of thyroxine. Excess of thyroxine, which is also called as hyperthyroidism. It's also called as hyperthyroidism. One of the very important diseases which is caused, it's called as the Graves disease. Okay, called as Graves disease. Next option which we have is deficiency of thyroxine. Deficiency of thyroxine causes cretinism in children, and other one is it causes simple goiter, or which is also called as endemic goiter. Now why is it called as endemic goiter? Now basically less meaning thyroid goiter, which is called meaning it happens in people who are mostly living in the hilly region, meaning in mountainous region, because over there natural salts are not present. Like you will see very few people in the coastal region who will be getting deficiency of thyroxine, that is basically simple goiter or endemic goiter. Okay. And excess of adrenaline, basically it will give you the adrenaline rush or the adrenaline push, which will help you to fight whatever is coming for you or whatever. Okay. Now next is function of oxytocin is to help in, and your options are growth, lactation, childbirth, or gametogenesis. Pause the video and answer this. So now over here, this is a slight tricky question which I put for you. If some of y'all have put as lactation, then it is also correct, and if some of y'all have put for childbirth, then also it is correct. Oxytocin has two functions, one is lactation and one is childbirth. Now first let us focus on childbirth. Basically what happens is that when there is contraction of the uterine muscles, that time oxytocin is released, and with an increase in the release of oxytocin, there will be an the uterine contractions which are there, they will become more and more stronger, which will finally lead to the expulsion, or you can also call it delivery of the baby. This is one function of oxytocin. The other function of oxytocin is lactation. Now if you all have heard, some of you all will be familiar with the word oxytocin cycle. Now oxytocin cycle, basically as you can see in this picture over here, this what you see over here, this is basically the oxytocin cycle which occurs. So after pregnancy, a woman's body undergoes a lot of changes. Okay, so after pregnancy, just a few months after pregnancy, a woman, even when she hears the cry of a baby, the oxytocin will be released. So here you can see a child sucking on the breast of the mother. This induces a positive feedback, okay, and as a result, first prolactin hormone, it is the milk ejectory hormone, uh, that will be released. uh, Milk producing hormone, sorry, prolactin is milk producing hormone, milk producing hormone. Oxytocin is milk ejection hormone. So first the milk will be produced, it will lead to increase in prolactin first. As a result, milk will be produced, and later on oxytocin will come into the picture, and it will lead to the release of the milk from the breast. So here oxytocin has two functions, that is in childbirth as well as in lactation, okay, so don't get confused. Now go to the next. The hormone which regulates the basal metabolism in our body is secreted from, pause the video and answer the question. The correct answer for this question is thyroid hormone. Thyroid. The hormone which regulates the basal metabolism of our body is secreted from the thyroid gland. Thyroid gland. Okay. Our next question is, which one of the following hormones stimulates the let down release of milk from the mother's breast when the baby is sucking? We just did a similar question to this. I already explained to you also, and your options for these questions are A. Progesterone, B. Oxytocin, C. Prolactin, or D. Relaxin. Pause the video and answer the question. And the correct answer for this question is B. Oxytocin. Now oxytocin, let me just focus more on this, okay. I will give you all some extra information. If you're answering neat and everything, then it will be fine. If you all want to note down, it's good to know. But so oxytocin has other names also, like milk ejection hormone, birth hormone, love hormone. These are the three common names used for oxytocin: milk ejection hormone, birth hormone, and love hormone. Now, in case of emergency pregnancy, synthetic oxytocin is ejected into the female. Now, this synthetic oxytocin, OT is a short form for oxytocin. It is called as pitocin. This is little high level information which I'm giving you all, but after all, you all will become MNS officers, so you all have to learn it. So it's good to know nowly. So the synthetic, so in case of emergency pregnancy, a synthetic oxytocin is injected into the female, whose drug name basically is pitocin, and this will lead, as a result, this will lead to contraction of the uterine muscle, which will finally lead to the delivery of the baby. Okay. Now the next question which we have is, diabetes is due to, and your options are A. Iodine deficiency, B. Hormonal deficiency, C. Sodium deficiency, or D. Enzyme deficiency. Pause the video and answer the question. And the correct answer for this question is B. Hormonal deficiency. So basically it is caused due to the deficiency of insulin. Okay, we solved this type of thing in the first question, if you remember. So now we will talk about diabetes over here. Now diabetes, as you can see this picture over here, there are two types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. There are two types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. Now let me explain this to you. So type 1 diabetes, if we talk about, type 1 diabetes is a kind of diabetes in which the body doesn't secrete insulin. It doesn't secrete insulin. Okay, the body does not secrete insulin. Okay, now type 1 diabetes is mostly found in younger generation. It's found in the younger generation. Okay, type 1 diabetes is mostly found in the younger generation, and type 1 diabetes is the disorder in which the body does not secrete insulin. Now we'll talk about type 2 diabetes. In type 2 diabetes, the body secretes insulin. Body does its job of secreting insulin, but since the blood glucose level, the intake of sugar of this person, he has a very sugary diet, he eats a lot of sweets, so there is an excess intake of sugar. As a result, the blood glucose level is high in this person. So the body does its work of secreting insulin. It secretes enough amount of insulin, but the body glucose level is high itself. So such a kind of disorder, it's called as type 2 diabetes, and it is mostly found in adults. Okay, so type 1 diabetes, it is mostly found in younger people, and type 2 diabetes, it is mostly found in adults. Type 1 diabetes, the body does not secrete body does not secrete only insulin. But in type 2 diabetes, the body secretes insulin, but the blood glucose level of that person is very high. Okay, students, so these are the two types of diabetes which you need to remember, type 1 and type 2, and learn the differences also. Now we'll go to the next question. Feeling the tremors of an earthquake, a scared resident of 7th floor of a multi-storied building starts climbing down the stairs rapidly. Which hormone initiated this action? And your options are A. Thyroxine, B. Adrenaline, C. Glucagon, D. Gastrin. Pause the video and answer it. So the correct answer for this question is B. Adrenaline. Now, adrenaline hormone, it is secreted from the adrenal medulla. Now you need to remember that the adrenal gland which is there, it has two parts, adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla. We will be focusing on adrenal medulla. Now adrenal medulla, it secretes two hormones, that is adrenaline and noradrenaline. You need to remember that adrenaline is produced in much more quantity as compared to noradrenaline, and the effect of adrenaline is much more than noradrenaline. So adrenaline basically is dominant both in quantity as well as it is much more effective. Now adrenaline, what it does, it increases your heartbeat, and it leads to pupil dilation, it leads to piloerection, that is standing of the hair on your skin. Okay, basically it increases your blood sugar level. There are many functions of adrenaline. Okay, so let's go to the next question. So your next question is the chemical signal which has both endocrine and neural role is, and your options are calcitonin, adrenaline, C. cortisol, or D. melatonin. Pause the video and answer the question. And the correct answer for this question again is adrenaline. I already discussed about adrenaline in the previous question. Your next question, which is there, is which hormone causes dilation of blood vessels, increased oxygen consumption, and gluconeogenesis? Pause the video and answer the question. The correct answer for this question is again C. adrenaline. Looks like all the questions are of adrenaline only. Okay, so over here I will just be explaining the meaning of this word glucogenesis. Now okay, so I will be explaining the meaning of two words, glucogenesis and this other word, gluconeogenesis. So first we will focus on glucogenesis. Now, glucogenesis is basically insulin. We all know this person now. Who is insulin? Where it is secreted? I already told you. Now, insulin is the person. He does not like when there is increase of blood sugar. Basically, take it as a story. It goes in your head easily. So, insulin does not like increase. He does not like increase in blood sugar. He likes when it is the blood has less sugar. Okay, when the blood has less sugar, he likes it that time. So as a result, insulin, he will always and always try to keep the blood sugar level low in the body. So what does it do? He will do anything to decrease the blood sugar level. So insulin, he converts this glucose is the one who increases the blood sugar level now. So he will convert this glucose to where to write, wait, no, sorry, not this, adrenaline. Acha. So he will convert glucose into glucogen, and he will store this glucogen in muscles and the liver. Okay, so that process in which insulin stores glucose in the form of glucogen in muscle cells and liver cells, that process is called as glucogenesis. Now there is this other word in NCRT also, which is called as gluconeogenesis. Now, as the word suggests also, this is gluco, this is neo, and this is genesis. I have broken them down into separate one word. I made them into three parts basically. Gluco meaning the production of glycogen, neo meaning new, and genesis basically it means production, something new, starting of something new. So basically gluconeogenesis is the process in which new glycogen is produced from substances like fats and protein. Basically in this process there is new glycogen produced. Think it like that. Okay, gluconeogenesis. Break the word and understand it and then learn it. Okay, so with this we go to our final and last question, that is, melanocyte stimulating hormone is produced by, and your options are A. Anterior pituitary, B. Posterior pituitary, C. Pars intermedia of the pituitary, or D. Parathyroid. So pause video, answer the question. So the correct answer for this question is A. Anterior pituitary. Now let me explain. So I think so you all will not be able to see this picture properly. So this is the picture of the pituitary gland. Okay, let me explain without pencil or pen. Okay, so this is the pituitary gland, as you can see. Now the pituitary gland has two parts: anterior pituitary, posterior pituitary. Anterior pituitary is called as the adenohypophysis. Posterior pituitary is called as the neurohypophysis. Now I used to remember it like A for anterior, A for adeno. So A comes together. So I used to remember it like that. So basically anterior pituitary is the one which consists, it secretes many hormones, the important hormones, whereas posterior pituitary is the part which does not store any hormones, it only stores and releases them. Now I will be giving you all some extra information over here. If you all are NEET students, then this will be good for you. So now the posterior pituitary or the neurohypophysis, it consists of two nerve cells, and they have two special names, that is the nerve supraoptic nerve. Okay, this is the first one. I will explain to you this one, then after this we will go on to the next nerve. So the supraoptic nerve which is there, this nerve, it transports ADH, that is vasopressin, from the hypothalamus to the pituitary for storage. Remember the word supraoptic nerve. It transports ADH, that is vasopressin, from the hypothalamus to the pituitary. This is your first nerve. Now your second nerve, which you have to remember, second nerve is paraventricular nuclei. Paraventricular nuclei. This is your second nerve, and this nerve is the one which transports oxytocin. It transports oxytocin from the hypothalamus to the posterior pituitary. So these are the two nerves which are there in the posterior pituitary, that is the supraoptic nerve and the paraventricular nerve. Okay, so I hope you understood this. If you want, I can write the words again for you. Okay, so the two nerves are there, that is the supraoptic nerve and the paraventricular nerve. Two nerves which the posterior pituitary is made up of, that is the supraoptic nerve and the paraventricular nerve. So the supraoptic nerve, it transports ADH, that is vasopressin, from the hypothalamus to the posterior pituitary, whereas the second one, that is paraventricular nerve, it transports oxytocin from the hypothalamus to the posterior pituitary. So with this, I hope you all understood everything. Okay, extra information for you all again. This is a chart basically which I took from one of the reference books which I used to refer. Please take a screenshot and just go through it. It will be very helpful for the students who are answering NEET, but MNS students can just go through it. Okay, there is no harm to learn extra knowledge, because you all will be learning these things again once you get into your MNS colleges, so there's no harm to learn it right now. Okay, so click a screenshot of this and just go through it. Okay, so with this I finish off this video of mine. I would like to thank Queen D ma'am, of course, for giving me this opportunity to come on this channel and take this class for you. And please do join our Telegram channel, that is MNS Classroom, the official group. Okay, so that's all for now. Take care, study hard, and Jai Hind. Thank you.